Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Apex Racing TV and welcome to the World GT Championship with Racehub and Simmortal at the Brands Hatch circuit in the United Kingdom for round 17, 18 and 19. Andrew Woodhouse here, as usual, joined by my usual partner in crime, my Racing World Road Pro Series champion, Alex Simpson. I nearly called you a world champion there, mate, but I mean, it's not too far away.
Well, you know,
technically speaking.
Yeah, Martin, they've got nothing on me. You know, Greg, I'm going to do him later on in the week. It's fine. It's no problem.
Who are those people?
Yeah,
and Johnny is the newest member of our broadcast team, Joseph Ringrose. Joe, welcome to the team. Welcome to Apex Racing TV. And what do you expect from this race? It's GT3s, it's Brands Hatch. It's going to be quite hectic, I reckon.
Yeah, it's good to be here, and as you said, it is going to be very, very hectic. The track isn't the biggest in the world, and we've got 45, 46 cars going around this track today, just 2.3 miles, so it could get quite intense.
Yeah, even though this is the Grand Prix circuit, if you sent a modern Grand Prix car around here, chances are you'd be doing it in under a minute, because even in the GT3s, well, our pole position time is only a 1:20.5. As for the person who set that qualifying time, well, it's none other than the British touring car champion himself, Ash Sutton, 1:20.583. Nico Foggy, who's the reigning World GT champion, is alongside him on the front row. Third is Sindra Setsas. We've not seen him this season. Stuart McFadden in fourth. Christian Rose is fifth. Pete Newman is sixth. Dave Baker is in seventh place. LJ Garner in eighth. Jake Blackall ninth. Carl Janssen in 10th. And then it's Johnny Brandon 11th, Andy Shield 12th, Matt Bunn in 13th. 14th is Josh Thompson, Chris Wood in 15th, Marco Mogren 16th. And 17th for Michael Evdoka, Dion Phillips 18th, Stephen Dawson and Mark Woodhouse make up row 10. Then it's Magic Sakovic and Chaz Draycott. Adam Broughton Grant's 23rd with David White in 24th. It's 25th for Craig Evans, 26th for Paul Smith, Michael Hall in 27th. Then Nathaniel Simpson, 28th, 29th, Miguel Freitas, then Scott Malcolm in 30th, Jeroen Kaiser, 31st, Michael Blake, 32nd, Adam Hedgecott, 33rd, 34th for John Roberts, 35th, Ronald Moons, Lee Deemer in 36th, Andrew Whitehead in 37th, then it's Jason Rowe and Josh Rayfield with Stephen Burke just behind them. Then it's Chris White in 41st, Dave Crozier, 42nd, Lee Woodburn in 43rd, Matt Keeber in 44th, and then at the back of the grid on row 23, is James King and Fraser Williamson. So the TBR cars at the very back. So 20-minute race then, and the pace car does line up at the front of the grid for the formation lap. And well, Alex, good times by the front runners here in qualifying, but do we think they're going to have it all their own way in the race?
No, I don't genuinely. I think there'll be a fair bit of you know what this place is like. Those first couple of laps, there's going to be some mistakes. It's tight. There's going to be some accidents. The first race maybe not so much, but I think maybe the second and third is going to be very, very tricky. Just noticed the liveries haven't fully uploaded, so just give me a second. Try to get that done while we do the pace lap.
I was going to say they've been keeping us on our toes with the changes to the paint pack all season, really, and no exception today, of course. It's all good. It's good to see. I'm enjoying seeing all these different liveries and things like that. But it's it just means that we've got to be on our toes a little bit. And Joe, well, the drivers, you mentioned it was going to be quite tricky in that it's not very wide. It's going to the first.
Seem to have some issues with Discord there, I think, mate. You might need to repeat that.
Oh, sorry, that was on my side, was it? Yeah, saying to Joe, it might be. It's quite a narrow circuit, so the drivers are going to have to keep on top of it on the first couple of laps and try and make sure they don't do anything daft.
Yeah, for sure. It's a very narrow circuit, not particularly easy to pass because these GT3 cars aren't the most narrow of cars, so drivers have got to be careful when making moves, especially into turn 1, turn 2. They're all going to it's going to be a concertina effect going into turn 2 with the heavy braking. As Alex said, we will definitely see some accidents in all the races, I'm sure. 46 cars going around this track. But yeah, who knows what will happen? But we're about to find out.
Yeah, it's a bit much to expect them to be clean all the way through, especially this lot. But yeah, we'll see how they get on. Here we go then, Ash Sutton wastes little time. Clever start by him. He gets a quick jump and he moves straight onto the racing line on the left-hand side of the track so that he can go through the final corner clearways at full speed. Foggy's weaving all over the circuit trying to keep Sindre Setsas behind, and there's already a spinner. I can hear it, I can't see it.
Blackhall.
Jake Blackhall then.
The man with no luck whatsoever.
In the Mercedes, yeah, absolutely just in the thick of it again.
Oh, and one of the Radicals cars around as well. Yeah, Janssen.
Oh yeah, Janssen. He was leading the championship at one point, Carl Janssen. The minute he's sitting in third.
Matt Bunn with problems as well.
Yeah, Bunn spun, and off goes one of the Audis. I think it's Chris Wood on the grass. They're really jockeying for position. You can see. Oh, it's all kicking off behind Stephen Dawson as well. Oh, and off goes Andy Shield. He's into the Armco barrier, and there's a Mercedes round. I think it's, is it Brandon? Is it? It's a Northern Lights racing car, Alex. I'm not sure who it is.
I have to double check that one.
Might be Craig McLeod Evans, is it? Yeah, I think it was. Car 27.
Just seeing a quick replay of Andy's
spin in a spin.
mistake.
Well, if you stay with it, you'll see what happens to Craig afterwards. It follows quite swiftly.
Yeah, just to the left of the circuit. Can't quite see it. Yeah, a lot of drivers just recovering out there as well. The activity is going absolutely nuts on the overlay as well. So many people making places and going off the track as well.
So Ash Sutton takes the lead. Nico Foggy second. Third is Sindre Setsas, and it's Stuart McFadden in fourth. Christian Rose in fifth. Newman, Garnett, Baker, Thompson and Brandon is the top 10. And we're already seeing a bit of a breakaway at the front, Joe.
Yeah, we are. The top 6 have sort of managed to break away. Interesting to point out that none of the top 6 have either gained or lost a position so far this race. So keeping it clean and not seem to have made any moves just yet.
Or maybe it's for the best for some of them.
Yeah, definitely. For some of the things that we've seen near the back, some of the drivers have made up 10, 12 positions, and then we have drivers that have lost 27, 16, 14, 25 positions. So maybe just holding position might have been for the best.
Can be a clever strategy, of course, in races like this. It's not the normal endurance format for these GT3 cars. It's a sprint, pure and simple, 20 minutes, no pit stops, no tyre changes required, no fuel, just first past the post essentially. And Ash Sutton leads the way. He's got some company from Nico Foggy, the man who won the championship in season 2. Setsas is hanging on pretty well in the BMW. Then it's McFadden. I think the BMW will be fairly suited to this circuit, Alex, because even though there are some straights, they're quite sort of medium length straights and a lot of fast corners around here.
Yeah, definitely probably it's one of its strongest circuits. You know, like you say, high speed sort of corners. A downforce of that BMW is really going to come into its own, and this is where we've seen this car excel in things like the Blancpain, or what is now the VRS GT Championship.
Well, I must admit, speaking of excelling, you don't need a spreadsheet to tell you that Ash Sutton's in the lead, but Foggy is giving him a big problem. Only qualified 2/10 behind him. And well, Foggy's the master of this Mercedes-Benz. Seen it over and over again. He just seems to get the most out of it every race meeting.
There's someone who's having issues though. Carl Janssen's off again. He's in the wall. It's
not been going right for him recently at all.
See if I can't get that on a replay. Dawson also had an off, which we're just seeing a replay of as well. But yeah,
Alex, ever since Janssen has almost like ever since he took the lead of the championship, it's been nothing but disaster since.
No, yeah, exactly. Just a bit of a nightmare. I don't know if he got involved with the Dawson incident, actually. Let's just have a little look, see if I can get back far enough. Can't for some reason.
I say disaster. It's not necessarily been a disaster for him, but it's not been, you know, it's not been as good as what it could have been. Like, he didn't score any points at Spa. He didn't finish in the top 5 at all at Snetterton. So, I mean, he did finish 6th and 7th. Oh, spin. Newman's around, I think. Yes,
yeah,
he is.
Newman.
And what happened to Pete? Well, I can tell you, he's got a wheel on the grass on the way to Dingle Dell. Oh, and how the Mercedes avoided him.
He's in the worst place there to try and get back going as well.
Well, I tell you what, Joe, Josh Thompson, he did an absolute mighty job of avoiding the contact there.
Yeah, he did. Just missing the Ferrari there. Josh Thompson currently sitting in P7 behind Liam Garnett, his teammate. Well, Radical's teammate. Both in the Mercedes. They've got a bit of a gap in front to Christian Rose of CQR even, who's currently battling with Stuart McFadden.
Well, and Rose currently leads the championship as well, so it's been a good season for him. McFadden seems to be, Alex, McFadden definitely seems to be getting quicker every week in this Ferrari.
Yeah, well, I just think generally as well, he had a good week in the BSRTC, this very track, didn't he? And, you know, having, like you say, starting to really come on strong every week in the World GT Championship as well. So
seems like a few weeks ago, though, he was maybe in sort of the 12th, 15th, 20th even places. And then last week and the week before, he was sort of around 10th, 8th, 7th. Now he's going up into the top 5, and it seems like he's really clicking with his car. And he's got a guy behind him, like I say, Christian Rose, who he lets through. And that actually makes sense because Stuart McFadden's joined the CQR Academy team, hasn't he, for 2018, Alex? So that does make some sense that they are technically stable mates in the BSRTC.
Yeah, exactly. We seem to see, you know, actually the guys were sort of expressing how much help the academy and everything is making for them as well, and you can see that with the on-track performances as well. So good to see.
It does help in situations like that as well when you need a free position. It does help too.
we have missed something that's gone on as well. So change for P2. Foggy has lost the place, so sets us up and past. I don't know where that was. I'm going to have a quick look, see if I can find it, if it was perhaps a mistake on Foggy's part, because...
Oh, no, he was into turn 1. I reckon... Oh, I think he had to serve a slowdown, Alex, from the middle sector. I imagine he had a slowdown to serve. And, yeah, he served it before clearways, and that allowed Setsas to get a run down the straight and went up the inside into Paddock Hill Bend. It'd be tough for him to defend against the Mercedes power, though. I mean, the first sector will suit the BMW, Paddock and Druids and Graham Hill Bend and Surtees. That's where Setsas needs to really get a move on and try and break a little bit of a gap to the Mercedes, but then down the big long straight, you'd think that Foggy's going to have a big advantage.
Just looking at a good battle for sort of 13th and 14th. So Paul Smith and Nate Simpson. They were side by side for quite a few corners, and Nate's just about got the advantage now. Smith had to catch that big time there.
He very nearly bit the dust, did Paul Smith on that occasion. Just looking down the order as well, two drivers who you don't normally expect to be in these positions necessarily, and that's Dave Baker and Marco Mogren. They're 9th and 10th. Baker started actually 7th and has dropped down the order. Mogren started in 16th and has moved up the order. Biggest movers so far, you're looking at John Roberts with 17 positions gained, as has Lee Deemer, Nathaniel Simpson and Michael Hall. They've gained 15 places. You're on Kaiser the same. And 14 for Matt Keeber. So a lot of drivers moving up massively at the beginning. And we're already nearly halfway through this this race. We're in about 7.5 minutes, maybe a bit less.
Yeah, well, according to my clock, we are halfway through right now.
There you go. So the time's actually right. Sometimes it's right and sometimes it's wrong, isn't it? So I've now got the right time, but most races I don't have the right time.
Yeah.
I don't know what goes on. Rose has managed to put some time between himself and Stuart McFadden, actually, about 1 second since going through. LJ Garnett has, Josh Thompson's got past him. Johnny Brandon in 8th, trying to chase them down. You got Dave Baker and Marco Mogren, like I said, behind them.
Problem for Woodhouse, sorry Andrew to cut in, but he's dropping places, just gone off track, so I'm not quite sure what's gone on there. Let's see if we can pick up what happened with him.
It's probably slowed down as well.
He's got some damage. It might be an issue. I think it's going to be in 30s.
Where has he dropped down to? That's
yeah, just lost the rear in 30s, and then just skims the barrier. Really, nothing too major, so should be okay.
Well, they've got potentially some problems from behind there as well as those guys, because Miguel Freitas is moving through the field in the Audi, Chaz Draycott in the Ferrari. Pretty quick drivers out there. In fact, they're now in front of Newman and Woodhouse. Chris Wood, after going off the track on the first lap, he's trying to make a fight back in what some people say is the quickest car on the circuit, the Audi, Joe.
Yeah, the Audi's probably one of the best GT3s since the recent balance of performance. Good all-round car. I've driven it myself. Personally, my favourite is the Mercedes. You're able to really throw it around the corners, but the Audi is nonetheless a very, very good GT3 car.
And that is Newman and Draycott going to battle. Thrust Vector sporting their green camouflage livery for the green confines of Brands Hatch. Trying to get, well, in fact, just being taken by Pete Newman, so Draycott actually dropping down the order.
No one can see him, they're just driving straight through him. Problem.
Yeah. That's probably it. And I think he, well, I don't think that was quite what he was going for, to be honest, when he went on. To be honest, a lot of drivers drive like there's no other cars around them anyway, don't they? So camouflage car isn't going to cause anybody problems. Setsas is moving all over the straight to try and defend from Foggy, but the difference here is, well, he's far enough in front that he's not actually blocking the other driver. Foggy looked like he was blocking him at the beginning.
Just trying to break the draft, really, isn't he? So this, I mean, that
he's going to struggle.
That straight, of course, is where the Merc's got its advantage. Like I was saying, you know, it's a good all-round car. Is the Merc? He's just got a little bit more straight line speed.
This is probably going to be well, he's not going to make the move into clearways, but might do it into paddock this time. It's going to make him go the long way around. Setsas. What's Nico going to do? Going to go to the outside. Oh, that's brave. And the outside of paddock, he'll bend the wheel to wheel. Setsas stays in front with the commitment. And he'll stay in front through Druids as well, because he had the perfect line. Bit of a wiggle on the exit. Nearly prayed to Foggy, but he stayed. He stayed in front of the Mercedes. At least for now. But I think, Joe, this straight coming up down Pilgrim's Drop, it might be difficult for him to stay in front.
Yeah, we've spoken about the top speed of the Mercedes compared to the BMW, and it's just superior in a straight line.
Here he comes then.
Go around the outside.
in Westfield. Oh,
Contact.
Bang. Oh, he stays in front, gets the elbows out. Well, I think it was fair, but it was fair and it was effective.
Yeah, for sure. It was aggressive, but
it was borderline, but it was okay, you know. We like a bit of that. We're not immune to a bit of that going on out on the track, the World GT Championship.
I think you've got to do a bit of that, haven't you, in these 20-minute races? You know, that's what it's all about. It's a bit like...
I think that light contact, though, is you know, it's fine, isn't it? That's what's expected, I think.
This, you know, these kind of series, when the short races, they remind me much like sort of like 2020 cricket. You know, you can't go out there and be safe, you know.
Yeah.
Not test match. You've got to get out there and slog it out a little bit, so... And yeah, you need to.
That's pretty much it. But at the same time, in 2020 cricket, if you go too quickly or if you cock up so badly, then you will still lose and you will still be out. So it's that sort of mentality where you've got to balance the risk and just see, you know, almost like how many wickets have I got left. And then when you're on I mean, I'll speak English in a second. When there's no incident limit like in this race, Joe, then, you know, the wickets are unlimited.
Yeah, the only sort of limitation you've got is you don't want to take yourself out of the race and then obviously destroy your chances of any points. But, you know, you've got to be aggressive in these GT3 cars, and as you said, the 20-minute races, you can't sort of, oh yeah, I'll give it a few more laps. You've got to go for the move as soon as you can.
Yeah. I think now, though, the goals will have changed for these two, in that Ash Sutton is probably too far in front for them now with just under 4 minutes to go, so it really is just a battle. So Foggy can now reset himself and he can have another go in a minute when he regroups, maybe cools the tyres down a tad.
Can I just say, I'm loving the fact that Ash Sutton is a Class D 2.53 safety rating.
Dear. Well, it is Ash, and safety rating's never been his strong suit.
And he just goes through, he just doesn't do any official races, you know, he just does all the league racing, doesn't he? So.
Or he gets relegated because he crashes too much.
Well, yeah, it's that too.
I don't actually know. We're sorry, Ash, but I mean, it's normally Josh that gets this treatment, so it feels special this time.
This, I'm looking at a battle way down, sort of 29th place, and yeah, so.
Oh yeah, Keeber.
Actually, Janssen trying to get by, Keeber.
Well, the thing is, Janssen, he might find some of these positions relatively straightforward to get, but I think if he starts near the back of the reverse grid, I think you'll find that he's got quite a few other very competent drivers. Not that these guys in the middle aren't competent, but top 10 quality drivers maybe in and around him.
Moons is up 4 places, but got no bonnet on the front of his car, and he's about to lose a place here as well. Link to Evans up the inside.
Well, I mean,
30s.
Oh, let's have a look then. It's very bumpy down this straight. Well, on Moons, if he stays in the slipstream of the other Mercedes, which he has done, you can see that pulling him clear of the Ferrari, Joe, down that straight.
Yeah. Another thing, we were talking about Carl Janssen just a second ago, P29, David White's got huge damage, and by the looks of it, is Carl Janssen going to go for the move? No, he's not just yet. He's all over the back of him, huge damage to that Mercedes and David White there. He's rather aggressive on the track, Carl Janssen, so I'm sure he'll go for a move soon. Well, he'll need to go for one soon, we've only got a couple of laps to go. At least Ronald Moons will have decent cooling, Alex, anyway, on that Mercedes.
Yeah, well, you would hope the engine wouldn't blow up, but, you know, I've seen the damage model work in mysterious ways in the past.
Well, somebody blew their engine yesterday, didn't they, in the Ferrari, just going down the main straight, minding their own business. Saw that. Championship leader, Christian Rose, 4th. And yeah, David White then, having to fend off Janssen. He's gonna try and get back through again.
Nice.
And he has for now, but Janssen gets a cutback. He's got good momentum. And he's going to be through because it's one line through Surtees. White's going to get a big long run out of there, though. He may get a chance into Westfield. No, he won't, because he's looks like the aero damage is costing him a little bit.
Johnny Brandon, Mogren, another good little battle. Phillips has just jumped into the pits. I'm not sure what's gone on there. Dion Phillips?
He was in 11th place, Phillips, and let's see what happens.
Maybe underfueled the car.
Did he
Get on the jacks?
Did he just? I think he might have just disappeared. Did he? Did he disconnect?
Yeah, he's back out on track now.
He showed that he entered the pit lane, yeah. So
He was stopped in the pits. I saw him stopped in the pits.
He's back out in P18, just ahead of Miguel Freitas.
time has elapsed, guys. So I think we are imminent with the checkered flag. Here comes Sutton through the final corner.
Yeah, here he comes then. Car 116 will be on the top step of the podium once more. Ash Sutton takes the win at Brands Hatch. His 4th win of the season. That was well earned from pole position. It was that start that he got that was really important. Managed to get a really good jump. Stuart McFadden just beats Josh Thompson to 5th. And then this battle that we were watching a bit further down. Well, this is a good battle between Roberts, Diemer, Newman, and Chaz Draycott. 3 Ferraris and 1 Mercedes. Roberts should be fine to hang on here. Here he comes, John Roberts then. Going to finish in 15th place. 16th for Diemer. Newman in 17th. And in the end, Dion Phillips is going to get 18th place. Freitas, Woodhouse coming across. They're still battling near the back. Well, they're fairly close together. Wouldn't call it a battle, but...
Yeah, like you say, they're close, but actually they're all sort of a second or so apart, aren't they? So
it's usually how the race one goes, though, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the next two that are man.
Next two is really where we're going to see big gains or losses made in the championship. And, well, Joe, with about not many meetings to go, just 9 more races in this season, it's really the time where you do not want DNFs, and that's going to be the key for the drivers coming through from the reverse grid. Yeah,
you're going to want to finish in them races. You don't want to be ending your race early due to a silly incident that could have been avoided.
I mean, the drivers do get... Oh, sorry, the drivers do get a fast repair, though, in this series, but we've seen quite a few people, you know, they'll take a fast repair and then they'll have another incident, and then...
Yeah.
Know what you can do about that. All right, Alex, have you got the results ready?
I have indeed.
All right, here we go then. The results for round 17, season 3 of the World GT Championship. Ash Sutton takes the win by 5.6 seconds over Sindre Setsas, with Nico Foggy in 3rd. Then it's Christian Rose in 4th, Stuart McFadden 5th. Josh Thompson picked up 6th, with LJ Garnett in 7th. Johnny Brandon 8th, 9th for Marco Mogren, and 10th place for Dave Baker, who dropped down the order a little bit, which is a bit unusual. Michael Hall 11th, Nate Simpson 12th, Paul Smith 13th. I think he'll be really happy with that, you know. Jeroen Kaiser 14th, 15th for John Roberts, Lee Diemer in 16th, Pete Newman 17th. We saw him spinning earlier on. 18th for Dion Phillips. Miguel Freitas then follows him in 19th, 20th for Mark Woodhouse. That's where he started. Chris Wood in 21st. Andrew Whitehead in 22nd. Michael Blake then follows in 23rd. Scott Malcolm in P24. Stephen Dawson 25th. 26th for Matt Bunn. 27th for Josh Rayfield. Carl Janssen only 28th in the end. David White 29th with damage. Matt Keeber 30th. Magic Sakovic in 31st. Ronald Moons 32nd. Craig McLeod Evans in 33rd. And Jason Rowe in 34th. The car's 1 lap down. Well, we had a few. Stephen Burke 35th. Adam Hedgecock 36th. Chaz Draycott in 37th, Adam Broughton-Grant then 38th. And then the cars who won't be scoring any points this evening, well, at least for the first race, I can't speak for the rest of it, Michael Evdoka, Lee Woodburn, Dave Crozier, Chris White, Jake Blackhall, Andy Shield, and James King and Fraser Williamson. Not only did they start at the back, but they didn't take the start at all, I don't think. So possibly not able to make it, Alex, those two.
No, possibly not. Just looking at provisional standings after the race, this isn't including any bonuses or penalty points, so literally take it with a pinch of salt. But it looks like Kaiser has moved himself up 3 places. James King down. I didn't see King out there. Perhaps that's why. But yeah, Christian still leading the way, as well as Baker in second. And dropped a few more points. Let's just have a look. Any other movers and shakers a bit further down? Up 5 places, Nate Simpson, 26. Ash Sutton, of course, moved himself up 5, 401 points. So yeah, we've got some movers, but like I say, these are all provisional stand-ins, and we'll try and follow them through for the rest of the night.
Yeah, just having a quick look as well. Maciej Sakovic is in the top 10 now as well. Michael Hall's moved up a little bit. So yeah, there's a few drivers who had a very positive first race, and they'll hope it continues. But it's now time for the reverse grid, and we're going to see who's going to be on pole for race 2. Always a really fun moment, because we don't have a clue what's going to happen.
No, let me bring the wheel up. Sorry, just dawdling there. Come on, Will. There we go. Right, here we go then. First spin of the day. Let's see who's going to get that pole position. Like a relatively small one, or is it? Oh, it's not quite going to click over. 28th it stays. So close to 20th. It was unreal.
And what did we say about the reverse grid and that man Carl Janssen? So he'll be starting on pole, and I'll be honest, if he doesn't win this one, well, he deserves slapping or something, because he's got a really good chance of doing that from pole position. So we'll see if he can complete that when we return here on Apex Racing TV with the World GT Championship.
chair of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Will it be Tim Hogan? It's going to be Christopher DeMary at the line.
Welcome back to Apex Racing TV. Welcome back to the World GT Championship with Racehub and Simmortal. We're here at Brands Hatch, and this is round 18 of the season. Andrew Woodhouse here with Joseph Ringrose. Alex Simpson's taken a vow of silence, at least for now. So Adam Bath is taking his place in the commentary box. And
don't you all cheer at once?
it's like the cricket, isn't it? One person comes in for each bit of the day.
I'd say he's out now, so we'll get the next guy in. So Adam, for race one, I don't know if you managed to watch any of it, but it was fairly good. Ash Sutton won from pole, and this time around with Carl Janssen on pole, well, we know how good he is, and I did say, maybe slightly unfairly, put the pressure on him by saying if he doesn't win the race, he won't slap it.
But yeah, he's looked pretty good in the sports cars. The BSRTC is still getting a bit used to, but yeah, he's on the pole for this one. We'll see how he gets on. Josh Rayfield starting in second place in that Merc. Then it's Matt Bunn in third, Stephen Dawson fourth, Scott Malcolm in fifth, Michael Blake starting in sixth, then Andrew Whitehead, Chris Wood, Mark Woodhouse, and then rounding out the top 10 it's Miguel Freitas. Dion Phillips in 11th, Pete Newman 12th, Lee Deemer 13th, then it's John Roberts, Johan Kaiser in 15th with his old sparring buddy Paul Smith starting in 16th place. Then Nathaniel Simpson 17th, Michael Hall 18th, 19th for Dave Baker and 20th for Marco Mogren. 21st on the grid, it's Johnny Brandon and Liam Garnett, Josh Thompson starting 23rd, 24th Stuart McFadden, Christian Rose 25th, Nicole Foggy in 26th, Sindre Setsas in 27th, then David White 28th. As the cars get rolling on the formation lap, it's Matt Keeber in 29th, then it's Maciek Sakovic, the Magic Sandwich, starting in 30th, 31st Ronald Moons, then Craig Evans, then Jason Rowe, Stephen Burke, Chaz Draycott is in 36th place, and Adam Broughton Grant in 37th. Then it's Evdoka, Lee Woodburn, Dave Crozier in 40th, and then starting towards the back we've got Chris White, Jake Blackhall starting in 42nd, and on the back row of the grid, all by himself, it's Ben Gregory.
Alright, I didn't notice Ben Gregory in race one. I don't know actually if he was there. Joe, do you remember if he was actually?
I didn't recognise him.
No, was he out? Or he might have been out at the beginning.
Either that, yeah, it might have been caught up in the various incidents in the first couple of laps.
Tell you what, Joe, you're the newest member of the team, so you can be the guinea pig for the questions today. Well, out of all these cars, which GT3 car do you like best? Adam's a big fan of the BMW. I probably like the Mercedes because I'm a bit of a noob and I need quite a simple car to drive.
Yeah, I mean, I've only driven two and I've only got one, so my trusty Mercedes is going to have to take the seat for this one. Drove it at Sebring and it felt pretty good, so I mean, I can't complain.
It just does what you want, doesn't it? The Mercedes.
Yeah. It's if you're someone who's not the best like me.
And me, raises hands.
does the job, and you can keep it out the wall for the most part. Yeah, we won't talk about that. But yeah, the Mercedes is a good all-rounder, with good straight line speed, good in the corners. So yeah, Mercedes for me.
Well, Adam will be very pleased because Sindre Setsas managed to get the BMW into second place in the first race. So your BMW looking pretty handy around here.
Yeah, it looked pretty good around Watkins Glen last night in the BSR Grand Tour as well. So there's life in the old dog yet. Here we go, we're getting ready to go as Carl Janssen backs away from the safety car.
Here we go then, and he's gone early, Janssen, and I think really the start is the only real danger that he's got. So having a good jump was imperative for him. Josh Rayfield's gone with him very ably, and then Matt Bunn and Stephen Dawson going into battle. Bunn, who spun off in the first race, did recover to finish in 25th place.
Rose around at the back. Sorry, guys, to butt in.
Oh, that's the championship leader, Christian Rose.
Kaiser
Is it Rowe or Rose?
Rowe, sorry.
Oh, sorry, Rowe. Rowe is. All right, sorry. It took me a while to figure that one out. Sorry, mate.
Kaiser was in all sorts of issues there as we go out of Surtees. Jake Blackwell's had to tow back to the pits already.
Oh, not again. Oh, dear. Alex was just saying in race one how he has absolutely no luck, and it seems like it happens again for Jake. Paul Smith going well. He's behind Nathaniel Simpson. Look at them all, Joe, just absolutely swarming around where Michael Mogren is. Oh, and LJ Garnett's been hit.
Yeah, you were saying looks like there's just never ending going round the corners here on the first lap.
Oh, McFadden's cracked. He's turned the BMW over. Zetsas is on his roof.
Oh, we talked about him too
What
much, didn't we?
happened? Coming through Sterling's Bend, Adam.
God, it was like he was just skating down the road. Oh, he gets hit from behind.
McFadden just got into him, didn't he?
Yeah, sends him away. Sparks flying.
Oh. Well, he's not going to be happy with that at all, because big misjudgment from McFadden. We were just giving Stuart the big one about how well he's doing, and then he does that. Two Radicals Mercedes at nose to tail. Michael Mogren, Josh Thompson, 19th and 20th. They were moved up a place now. Christian Rose, it's Dave Baker. Maybe I was a crash in front of him, and it might
Simpson.
be. Is it Simpson? Yeah.
Hey, it's Simpson who is around at Surtees.
And now this is important for David Baker to try and get through this field. Off goes. Oh my! That's Johnny Brandon, and over goes.
Oh,
and that's one of the Radicals Mercedes. Thompson.
Yeah.
And Hall is it as well? No, it's Rose. It's the championship leader.
Christian Rose. Yeah.
Oh man, Rose is involved, and that could be crucial. And Joe, where did that all start?
Well, it looked to me. Let's try and get back to this. Was it Stuart McFadden?
Because I think Smith went off on the outside, by the looks of it. Yeah, that's right. So
Thompson
Smith
gets
goes
tapped, doesn't he, by Kaiser, the team mad Mercedes?
Oh yeah, just a little. It was just a little tap, and then he went into Johnny Brandon, and then all hell broke loose. And it was just a little contact, a very slight contact between, I think it was Smith and Hall. And that seemed to spark everything else.
Yeah, Smith went off just ahead of them, and then Josh Thompson just got just a slight tap, and obviously being very early stage of the race, everyone is still bunched up, and just nothing anyone can do being such a narrow circuit. Just unfortunate for the drivers involved there. Wrong place, wrong time.
It was the first thing you said, wasn't it, when we came on air, was that this is a narrow circuit and they're going to have to watch out. Exactly that. But also, we were at Watkins Glen last night as well. It's very similar, Adam, in the way that cars just bounce off the Armco barrier back into the course.
Yeah, it is a very narrow circuit, especially on the Grand Prix circuit. Even with the Hawthorne gravel track, there still isn't really much room for manoeuvre. Josh Rayfield had one massive moment earlier on in the lap at Cersei. He's nearly spun the car around, but he still remains in 4th position. Stephen Dawson still doing bits for the BMW. He sits in 3rd. Then it's Chris with 5th, Malcolm 6th, and he's part of this massive group that's made up of Newman, Phillips, and Freitas and Whitehead.
Well, and for Rayfield, even though he parted company with Limit Squad amicably, you do think, as Chris Wood goes up the inside of him and takes 4th place away, you do think that he's going to want to beat the thrust vector cars, and he's doing that comfortably at the minute with Draycott's in 30th, Steve Burke's 34th, and Tom Jacobs, is he around? Don't think Tom Jacobs is about for this one.
Oh, great battle here between Newman, Phillips and Malcolm. Malcolm could get past by 2.
Well, Malcolm's got his teammate behind as well, Freitas, in the Audi. And then behind them, weaving about, is Lee Deemer. He's trying to get past John Roberts.
Something's happened to Matt Bunn.
Matt spun.
Oh, has he spun, has he, again?
And this is at Sheen. How does this happen? Oh, he gets on the grass on the exit.
Yeah, and that's just sent the car around into the Armco barrier, and that's his race 2 over.
He can get a fast repair if he can make it back to the pits, but I think he's decided not to bother.
Yeah.
Well, I do think you should try and get the fast repair if you can. But
joy for BMW is that Stephen Dawson's now up into 2nd. Yeah, Matt Bunn wasn't too far away from the pit lane, so a tow wouldn't have been that long. It may have only put him 1 lap down.
Well, I bet he could have driven that back. Potentially. I mean, it might have been tricky, but you drive it back, get your fast repair. You might lose 25 seconds, 30 seconds at the most, but
Whitehead
still had a chance at some point.
Richard Whitehead's crashed, and it's a big one. BMW on the exit, Graham Hill bend. Oh, he gets onto too much of that AstroTurf on the exit. Richard Whitehead, did I say? Andrew Whitehead.
Richard Whiteley.
Well, where's Judy then? Up into the...
No, that's the other one. That's Richard Madeley. Alex, this is the problem. He's too young. He doesn't get it.
No.
Daytime chat shows.
Look at Whitehead's car. Have you seen the state of the front wheels? Oh! Well, they were nearly a bit worse after that.
We nearly had shades of Robert Dornbos then as we went down the hill.
I don't know if you guys remember those old cartoon illustrations that used to get of Formula 1 cars and things like that. Well, that's what Andrew Whitehead's car looks like now. The wheels all bent out. You see, he's going to come back to the pits, I think, and get a fast tow. Hopefully, anyway, for him. Janssen leads then. Setsas has got back out there, but he's a lap down, but only 1 lap down, so points will be on the table for him at the end of this one. Chris Wood's gone up to 3rd. Sorry, mate.
Carl's got a very, very big lead with was that Matt Bunn spinning just a couple of laps ago. 6.1 seconds now, the gap to Stephen Dawson, so he's pretty much just got to keep it off the grass and out of the barriers. Yeah,
Bunn was keeping him honest at about 1.5 seconds, and Stephen Dawson, he's still lapping well, is Dawson, but he's about 3/4 of a second a lap slower than Janssen. Chris Wood was a second a lap quicker than him on the previous lap as well. Josh Rayfield's still having a terrific race up in 4th, and 5th is Pete Newman. Dion Phillips is in 6th, then it's Scott Malcolm, John Roberts, Lee Deemer, and Miguel Freitas. Deemer, Adam, he's right on John Roberts.
Yeah, Deemer had a fantastic race last night at the Glen, and he looks like he's replicating that form here tonight at Brands Hatch as he tries to line up the boosted car, the boosted Ferrari, in fact, one of the highest Ferraris we've got here alongside Newman and Phillips. The boosted car looking for a good haul of points here in the second race as we're quickly approaching the halfway mark here.
Yeah, John Roberts, after the last race, I did notice that he said he thought he would get lapped in this one. Well, that's looking like quite a daft statement at this point when he's up in the top 10. I mean, there's still time, John, there is, but hopefully that's not going to happen.
Dawson's not going quick enough, is he?
Woodhouse is in 12th. Behind him is Dave Baker, and then it's Michael Hall and Jeroen Kaiser. So a lot of experience behind Mark Woodhouse at the moment, but Woodhouse is gaining in experience all the time, of course. He was part of the Kia Club Series I had some good battles with him in that one, but now I'm very confident in saying he would kick my arse all over the circuit.
In the Battle of the Woodhouses.
Yeah, he would win
high.
that. Unless we were at Canada, he would win. If we were at Canada, I would win.
Paul Smith and Jeroen Kaiser don't seem to ever separate themselves.
If we were at Bathurst, Paul Smith would win, and if we were at Silverstone, Jeroen Kaiser would win.
There you go.
There you go. And if we were at Donington Park, you would win.
Potentially, if we were at Charlotte Road, I would win. That was where one of my rare wins in the Kia came.
Charlotte Road, there you go. Just don't hit the fence, everybody. It's my favourite. Joe, that's probably one of the oddest things in that circuit. Is like, oh, how did you retire? Oh, I crashed into a gate.
Yeah, it is pretty weird about that circuit. It's not I crashed into an armed car, I crashed into a gate. a contrast to a lot of circuits.
Somebody close the gate. Quick. That's what you should do. You should get somebody to close the gate when your rivals are coming past.
Get Ross McCormack in.
Oh dear. He won't be able to get out of it. And you've got... Was it him who got stuck in his house for a while, was it?
Yeah, he couldn't go to training because his gates weren't working.
Michael well, I tell you, Michael Evdoka, we see him out there in the Ferrari. That's a thrust vector Ferrari for Evdoka, actually. Which surprises me somewhat. Maciej Sakovic is just behind him. Then it's Nico Foggy, and Foggy did finish third in race 1. Worked his way up from 26 on the grid, but only to 19, Adam, which kind of surprises me a little bit.
He's had a few things to negotiate, I think. He had that whole Thompson mess. Looks like it split apart the pack a bit because...
Oh, did he have to slow down, did he, to avoid...
I think he might have had to avoid it, yeah, because he was in 20... He did start on 26th on the grid, but the car looks relatively clean and he could get a position here at the hands of Magic Sandwich himself.
Freitas and Roberts are side by side. And they're squabbling over 10th place. John Roberts, of course, the former AM champion in the BSRTC. And Freitas is trying to stave off the Mercedes of Scott Malcolm? No, it's not Scott Malcolm. It's Matt Woodhouse.
Oh yeah, Malcolm's a bit further up the road. Yeah,
Malcolm's in the same car, isn't he? Pretty much as Woodhouse. Oh, and around the outside goes Michael Hall, the Ferrari. Oh, the Ferraris, Joe, hunting in packs at Druids and managing to get through.
Oh, Kaiser forces Freitas, his teammate, off.
Oh, no, they've lost there then. Oh, I can hear a spin at Surtees. Look out, everybody.
Oh, big crash.
Oh, and look out, it's right. Newton's cradle in the in Surtees. Roberts is round as well. He's been demoted a few places, maybe 6 or 7 places for Roberts.
We were talking about Roberts as well, and he may get laps in the end if there's too much damage on that car.
Alex, I don't know if we can get a replay on that, mate. If you can tell us what happened, because I'm not quite sure myself.
He lost it on his own. He got out.
Oh,
he got
Dima.
He got offline.
Oh,
Malcolm. Nothing Malcolm could do. Very bad crash for Team Mad. Woodhouse has had to tow back to the pits, and Malcolm's got a ton of damage as well.
Just noticed Lee Deemer's got the Confederate flag on the top of his car. Oh dear, which I'm sure will go down well somewhere.
Good news for me is that I don't get to see that. He's just got his bright yellow, bright green livery on my screen anyway.
If it's not Maggie Thatcher, it's the Confederate flag, or it's other things.
Welcome to Apex Racing TV, the home of political correctness.
The home of controversial liveries, indeed. And I tell you what, though, no controversy at all in this job, because Stephen Dawson is still doing a hell of a job of keeping Chris Wood behind, and Wood is 3/4 of a second a lap quicker, or at least he was.
Yeah, and Stephen Dawson is in the BMW, and we know that hasn't got the best straight line speed of these GT3 cars. The Audi definitely faster on a straight line, but he's holding them back for the current moment. Still a few laps to go.
It's catching, is that? I know. So I can't speak either. As the thing is, you think that the Audi joint might not quite suit this circuit just because it's so bumpy around here, but it seems like they've made that a lot better recently.
Yeah, it didn't really suit the bumps before raced it at Bathurst, but particularly like it there. Yeah, We were testing GT3 cars and it did not work, so we decided not to go with that. But Audi seems to be holding up for now.
Don't blame me on that one though at all. That it didn't even like curbs normally. I don't know. At least it didn't used to.
No, it didn't. I remember a few moments there where the car really was in issues. Nico Foggy's just gone round the outside of Jerome Kaiser, whose car looks a bit wounded. A few battle scars there on the Team Ad car, and Foggy has now cracked the top 10, up to 10th position. I'm sure he was in 19th about a lap ago.
He was. Yeah, 'cause I was just commenting on how he hasn't really moved up the field that much.
Well, his next his sights are on the Ferrari with the yellow wheels, so that must be Michael Hall, and it is. Hall up 9 positions, biggest mover in the field. Looks set to be Ben Gregory. Doka, 25 positions gained for him as Foggy goes up the inside of Hall, going into Hawthorne.
Good battle
Really
that
worked.
between Foggy and Hall. Hall's very capable.
Oh, crash to the back. It's one of the Team Mad cars. It's Sakovic. He's around.
Not so magic this time.
Gregory had to take a base of action.
Sterling's bend. And this is a good run by Nico Foggy. And he's trying to go around the outside in a Mercedes Northern Lights racing car. What can he do on the Ferrari? On the Ferrari's got maybe fractionally better top speed, but I don't think he can reach it on this relatively short main straight here at Brands Hatch. It's not really a straight at all, is it? But that's what they call it. Paul Smith's up to 12th. I'll tell you who's going well, Joe. Michael Ivdoka's going very well indeed. He started in 38th place and he's up to 13th in the thrust vector car, the Ferrari.
Yeah, 25 places gained. He's on the back of Paul Smith, maybe looking to get another one. Jerome Kaiser's not too far ahead, but maybe not enough time to get past the two of them.
Thrust vector, Adam, in camouflage livery for this race, and complete even with cigarette sponsorship, which somehow is allowed.
Anything goes, I think, in these series, doesn't it? Get to advertise your own political viewpoints as well. We saw that with the livery in the MX-5s, which, if you want to see it, is back tomorrow.
Well, in fairness, you can do that in NASCAR. Do you remember somebody had a Trump livery on one of the...
Oh, really?
Was it in the truck series or the nationwide series? I think they had somebody paid. Yeah, they paid for essentially a high-speed billboard for Donald Trump.
Well, it definitely needs NASCAR definitely needs something to make it great again.
Here comes here comes Mogren. Michael Mogren on Josh Rayfield for P6.
One of the very... Sorry. Go on. Of the Druids. Brew, one of the few surviving radicals, is up into 6th.
Yeah, it was a good job there by Michael Mogren. Good job by Josh Rayfield as well. Just couldn't get quite across to the right into Druids in order to stave off. Oh, and your own Kaiser has spun. He's around. He's back round now, but how did that happen? He just he loses the car coming out of Druids. That's an unusual mistake to make, Joe, I think, in these cars. They're not usually that susceptible to things like that.
Yeah, not usually. It's fallen down to 18th place behind Craig McLeod Evans, ahead of Ben Gregory. So
Gregory's had a good race, hasn't he? From the very back in the BMW, he's been doing some overtaking.
He's gained 24 positions. I'm sure the various incidents that we've seen have helped Ben there.
That's not shabby at all, is that? You're right. You're definitely right. I mean, at least 10 drivers, I think, were. Well, maybe not 10, maybe 6 or 7 drivers were affected by that, and then some of the others had to slow down a bit. But he's done a hell of a job as Ben Gregory. He's a very capable driver. Almost, Adam, when on his day when he's focused and ready, he's very good. Other times he kind of degenerates a bit into sort of banger racing a bit.
Let's not forget, he won the BSRTC Pro-Am Championship on a controller, no less, back
there you go.
2014.
Which is pretty amazing, really.
Looking at the incident points, only one driver is still on 0, and it's the man that sits in 2nd place in the BMW. It's Stephen Dawson. Shows everything you need to know about the BMW drivers. They're a safe pair of hands, as is the car.
Chris Wood has caught Dawson. Well, he caught Dawson ages ago. He caught him on lap 3, but I mean, are we seeing somebody who's just settling for the points here, given the fact that race 1 wasn't particularly good for him?
I'm sure he'll have a go.
Oh.
Nearly loses it there on the exit Sheen curve, but we've got 1 lap to go when we get to the line. And
oh, Dawson! Oh, that was nearly an incident. That was nearly a big incident. And it might leave him prey to the Audi down over the main straight. Another start-finish line. Joe, I think this is the best chance for Chris Wood in a while. Could be the last chance.
Yeah, probably is going to be one of the last opportunities that Chris Wood gets.
It's just not quite close enough, though, is it? Into Druid's hairpin. He has a little look. He pokes the nose out slightly, rounds the hairpin, and then through Graham Hill Bend on lap 15. This should be the final lap. Kyle Jansen heads down the back straight, and
Dawson nearly losing it on the exit of Cersei's. This is definitely the Audi's best opportunity now.
And the thing is, the tyres are going to be a little bit tricky now. He's going to have to nurse them a bit through these last few corners, which are very, very fast corners. Does not want to crack up under pressure, Stephen Dawson, and gift the win to the second place to Chris Wood. There's a BMW off, and it's Chris White who's having all sorts of trouble out there. It looks like he's on the pit limit. It looks like he's out of fuel potentially. But here comes Kyle Jansen. There'll be no running out of fuel for him. He crosses the line and takes race 2 here. Former championship leader back in the winner's circle.
Right, just 1 more corner for Stephen Dawson to hold on to second place. And he will through the final corner.
Oh. Well, he's going to be close with the Audi straight line speed, but he does just about get there. Well done. That's
Foggy's all over Dave Baker here, and he had to get on the brakes. But it's going to be Baker that gets 8th, Foggy 9th after starting in 26th.
Michael Hall flashing the lights. He looks happy with 10th. Paul Smith 11th, holding off Evdoka. I didn't think he was going to do that, really, given the speed that Evdoka came through the field. Broughton Grant with 22 positions gained. And Ben Gregory there on the line getting Craig McLeod-Evans. So that completes a barnstormer for Gregory. Absolutely fantastic stuff. Adam Hedgecock coming across. Still some battles going on. There's a distant battle between Steve Burke and David White. Don't think White's going to be able to do anything about Burke on the final corner. No, he doesn't. He's just far too far back to attack the thrust vector car. Sindra Setsas coming across. He was on his roof. So to still finish on the lead lap, Joe, is pretty decent effort. Or Adam, you can have that one if you want.
Yeah, definitely good drive. A few good drives out there. Marco Mogren, Michael Evdoka gaining 26 positions en route to being biggest mover. Quite a few good performances out there. Others will be hoping that the reverse grid works in their favour. I believe we've got everyone across the line, so we can run you through the finishing order from this second race of the day. Right, Kyle Jansen then wins 12-second advantage in the end over second place man Stephen Dawson. Chris Wood finishing in 3rd. Nearly got Dawson there. Pete Newman nearly got both of them. He was really closing in towards the end of the race. And then Dion Phillips in 5th. Marco Mogra in the Scandinavian 14 positions gained to 6th. Josh Rayfield in 7th. Dave Baker 8th. Nicole Foggy 9th and 10th. Hall. Paul Smith finishing in 11th. 12th Michael Evdoka. Biggest mover, nearly biggest mover I should say. 26 positions gained. Still a good achievement though. Then it's Miguel Freitas. John Roberts finished in 14th, started there as well. Looks like he didn't need to pit after the damage he sustained in the Lee-Dima crash. Broughton Grant 15th, 22 positions gained. Biggest mover goes to Ben Gregory, 16th, 27 positions gained for him. Then it's Craig Evans, Scott Malcolm, Nate Simpson, Adam Hedgecock gaining 15 places. Losing 15 places was Michael Blake. Stuart McFadden had to come into the pits for a fresh car, but still ended up finishing on the lead lap. Probably makes you wonder what Matt Bunn could have done if he just got the car back. Then Matt Keeber, 23rd, 24th, Johnny Brandon, Maciek Sakovic in 25th, then Ronald Moons 26th, Chaz Draycott 27th, and then Lee Dima in 28th. And the cars that had issues during the race. Christian Rose, the championship leader, your own Kaiser, Andrew Whitehead, Steve Burke, Dave White, Sundry Sass, Jason Rowe, Mark Woodhouse, Chris White, and then the cars that ended up finishing the race in the pits. We had Lee Woodburn, Dave Crozier, Matt Bunt, Josh Thompson, Liam Garnett, and Nick Blackhall barely got through a few corners. Very reminiscent of Alex Simpson's race 2 in the VSRTC here on Thursday.
Oh, so you remind him of it just before we need to speak to him as well.
Muted and fired.
Muted, fired, and everything. Alex, reverse grid time then, mate.
Yeah, indeed. Just before we get that up, actually, I'm just looking at the championships standings again after this race. Again, everything's provisional based on the fact that we don't have bonuses and penalties and appeals and all that sort of stuff in there. But yeah, hasn't affected Christian. I think he's still got the lead in the championship, so 903 points. Baker 860, something along that lines at this point. Foggy moved up past Thompson. Zakovic and Hall both moved up. Kaiser dropped a couple of places. Paul Smith up 3. So just scooting through. Who else moved? Steve Dawson up 4. Obviously good result for him. Dion Phillips up 7 spots. So yeah, some good changes as well in this one. Poor Jake Blackall drops a further 2 places after his nightmare continues.
So Jake said that he's had 7 DNFs in 18 starts.
Oh.
No luck. If he had any luck, he'd have no luck, really.
Incidentally, Adam, Matt Bunn was saying he runs the Donald Trump truck in the NASCAR series.
Oh, Matt Bunn?
Yeah.
God.
Quite funny.
Right, let's give it a spin then. While we were away, it looked like it had moved to the 20th spot, but yeah, it was too late for that to have been affecting the last race, so another spin. So the grid's going to be for the final race of the evening. Oh, it's gone and just basically done a 1 full rotation, and we've ended back on 28th.
Well, that's Lee Deemer. The crash was perfect for him. He's on the pole. Chaz Drake got 2nd, Ronald Moons 3rd, Sakovic in 4th, and Brandon in 5th.
All right, so race 3 is on the horizon, so join us back here for that when we return here on Apex Racing TV after the break.
chair of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Would it be Tim Hogan? It's going to be Christopher DeMary at the line.
Welcome back to Brands Hatch for the World GT Championship with Racehub and Simmortal from the Brands Hatch circuit in the United Kingdom. Andrew Woodhouse, Adam Bath and Alex Simpson bringing you all the action. Joe's had to go off not feeling too well, but we thank him for his debut on Apex Racing TV. Did very well, did a lot better than I think all of us did on our first commentaries ever back in the day.
Mine's on YouTube somewhere.
Yours is on YouTube, Alex. I know for a fact it's a lot better than ours.
Well, yeah, our first one. That was crazy, wasn't it?
That was great.
I was expecting Alex to say speak for yourself.
No, not at all.
That was definitely a two-man effort, was that? Lee Deemer then is going already. Oh, that was a close one with the safety car. The safety car's going to cross into the pit lane before Deemer overtakes it. He has done. And look at them all swarming now. Stuart McFadden is moving around quite a lot in the Kaspersky Ferrari. And he's going round the outside of a Mercedes. That Mercedes being Royal Moons. So Deemer leads. Second is Draycott. Then it's Maciej Sakovic, McFadden, Moons, Brandon, Blake, Keeber, Hedgecock and Simpson. That's the top 10. Simpson and Hedgecock going side by side. And there's another Mercedes in there as well. That's Craig McLeod Evans trying to come through. Northern Lights Racing car. See the BMW of Gregory just in the middle there.
Yeah, two wide in quite a few situations here. Paul Smith's going at him with a Ferrari. That's Avdoka, the biggest mover from one of the biggest movers from race 2.
Yeah, and Michael Hall as well. Oh, look at them all. And these are some of the best drivers in the series, all bunched together. And Alex, how many times have we seen that when the real fast guys get together at the back, it can cause some problems?
Oh, absolutely. They're all trying to squeeze through a couple of slower people, and there's just not a lot of room. And yeah, we have big crashes sometimes. So keep an eye out for that.
But also at the same time, they end up... Go on.
Guess who's out of the race?
Gregory.
No, Jake Blackhall. Again.
What's the
Make
point
that 8
waking up for that?
DNF out of 19 out of 18 races.
Poor
This is,
man.
this is what he's saying, is it? It's almost not worth him waking up for it. And you can totally understand that. Car 41 stationary as well. It's Matt Bunn. Cinnamon has spun again.
Oh dear, Cinnamon spun.
Off goes Avdoka as well in Paddock Hill. Tried an audacious move around the outside, and I think he must have either got on the grass or the car just didn't want to turn in.
Oh dear. If it was summer, we could have said he might be a hot cross bun, but well, it's Easter. It's sort of Easter. Might be able to get away with that. Freitas under pressure from Foggy. That's an easy one for the Scotsman. He's up the inside. He's through. Oh, Freitas going a bit wide. It's probably going to open the door for Michael Hall, who's going to come through.
Nate Simpson just passed Blake as well. Oh, there's something going on. Oh my God! As we look further back, around about 28th place.
God, Alex
Mark Woodhouse.
Full on Will Vincent on us then. It's Dion Phillips.
Have you ever, Alex?
Well, it was bad.
I didn't see it.
There was cars flying everywhere.
What is it? Tell me.
Go back and look.
I can't.
Oh, I can. Dion Phillips gets on the grass and then spins into the Ferrari next to him.
Christian Rose has got severe damage from that, by the way.
Yeah, he was the Ferrari that Phillips hit.
Championship leader.
BMW involved, a few Beamers involved. That could be Paul Smith. Oh no, Paul survived. It must have been Dawson.
Speaking of leaders, lead Deemer.
The headlines are getting written already, aren't they? Draycott in second, and it's Sakovic third, McFadden fourth, Brandon fifth. It's a breakaway group of 5 at the front, and it's a big gap back to Ronald Moons in sixth. Well, no, I say big, it's about a second or so.
Well, that's it. Yeah, it's not a huge gap. 2.5 now. Moon's just ahead of Simpson and Evans. So what exactly happened, Alex? Where did it all start, that big collision at the back of the course?
I can't tell you that, I'm afraid.
I can.
Marco Mogren's gone.
Oh, Mogren. Mogroff. Bad. It was...
I don't even know what that's supposed to be, but it's alright.
Sakovic at the inside of Draycott.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, the magic sandwich was almost a lot of pan there.
Oh. He's sprinkling some pixie dust on this one. That's even worse. As we come out the final corner, over the line to complete lap 3.
You used to be so good at puns, Adam. Like, what happened?
This is the alcohol.
You've been working at BBC for too long. That's your trouble.
I know, that's it. I'm gonna cancel my TV license because it's made Adam's puns terrible. That's what it's done.
No, I think the peak one was when I didn't have a clue of what I was going on about when it came to Star Wars back in the Ritmatech Sports Car series.
And you just went, yeah.
Right, here comes Stuart McFadden. He's trying to get past. He's trying to get past Chaz Draycott here. Oh,
Adam Grant. Yeah, he's off.
Oh, yeah, Draycott got a horrible run out of Surtees. Terrible run. He's going to get eaten by McFadden. Up into third then for Stuart, who took out.
Oh, another big crash as well.
That was Ben Gregory. Oh, and there's a few others. It's Paul Smith, Michael Hall, Pete Newman.
Oh, that's the lot of them then. Roberts. There's 4 cars in the. There's 5 cars in the wall.
Was Baker involved in? I know he just about survived.
Oh, yeah.
Right, how did this happen then?
My word.
Right, Evdoka coming onto the straight. Oh,
Evdoka as well.
It happened before he'd arrived. How did this happen? Right, Ben Gregory. Oh, it's exactly the same as what happened to Dion Phillips. Gregory gets onto the grass, exit of Surtees, hits Roberts. They're in the middle of the track, and Ben Gregory gets sent for a ride.
And Michael Hall as well. Alex, I don't know if you saw it. He tried to slow down, and he just got hammered from behind, I think.
Yeah, and this is what happens. And there was some comment on the chat about, the people that have brakes in this series. But, you try braking and avoiding all this when there's 30 or 40 cars in front. You just can't see. There's a concertina effect. You just cannot avoid it when the traffic just gets funneled back onto the racing line. It's just the nature of the circuit around that point. It's inevitable.
I think the problem everybody's always got as well is when you brake to avoid an accident, you get hit up the arse. You don't even hit the accident itself.
Yeah, people can't see it behind
the
you.
race.
That's the trouble.
Yeah, no, exactly. But so it's all. I mean, we make jokes about people using the brakes and things like that. I mean, they didn't like Rizzo it into the scene, did they? But it was. I don't know. It's a tough one. Tough one. Because I mean, like I say, you don't brake at all. You might get lucky, but you also might wipe yourself out. Brake too much, you might get wiped out by someone else who maybe isn't quite as quick to react. Michael Hall, he did slow down, Adam, but it didn't save him, did it, that time? He did do the right thing.
Foggy on Kiba in the final corner. Gets the move done nicely as well. Kiba trying to get back online to defend from Hedgecock here.
Well, that's for the top 10. Foggy now up into 10.
Oh.
Kiba's taken. Go on.
Bump and run, Foggy. So no, it was Sakovic. Sorry, it was. Oh, I don't know who I'm looking at here. Up the inside, it's the Northern Lights racing car, Brandon getting through.
Oh, did he do the bump and run? Did he?
Yeah, he did the bump and run into Druids.
Oh, well, Sakovic did kind of leave the door open.
Oh, he's in the gravel now, Sakovic.
Draycott, yeah, through.
And Evans too. So that's Sakovic down to 6th.
And of course, we have Chaz Draycott in the commentary booth tomorrow. He's having a bit of a trial with us as well.
Oh, there we go.
BSR MX5.
We'll ask him how lucrative his cigarette sponsorship is. I do, Alex. You will be aware that I do approve of the colour of Matt Keeper's car. I do enjoy that.
Let's bring him up.
And to be fair, Adam will approve as a Rossi fan. He'll approve of that as well.
That's it. Yeah, that's just your colour, isn't it?
It is. Goes well with the Apex Blue. I will say that. Now, we do need to have a quick look at this battle for.
Oh, for the lead. For the lead. That's what we need to look at.
What's happened to
Lee Dima?
Well, in one lap, McFadden's taken nearly 2 seconds out of Lee Dima.
Yeah,
how did he get this move done then?
It was 1.6 behind him at the start-finish line on the previous lap.
Oh, this is why Dima went off in clearways. And the gap had already come down a bit, but that was the nail in the coffin.
Just it went in hot, didn't he? Far too hot. Got a poor run out.
It's small margins in the World GT Championship, that's for sure. Just over 10 minutes to go then in this one. Oh, look at this battle going on. Foggy, Blake, Moons, Kiba. They're all pretty close. Hedgecock's at the back of this one. Oh, Janssen and Malcolm are side by side. Oh, and Baker sees the opportunity to try and follow Janssen through, Adam, on the inside of Westfield.
Up into Sheen curve then. Baker up the inside. Malcolm has to. Adam Broughton Grant in the mix there as well. Is that the team? Which is the Team Mad car they're trying to get by there?
Malcolm,
It's Malcolm, yeah. Who was in 14th at the start of the lap, but he's now having to deal with pressure from the other Merc of Broughton Grant as they come through the final corner.
Broughton Grant there, almost into the back of Malcolm.
Can have a look up the inside going into that first corner, but it doesn't usually end well.
Yeah, I mean, if you're confident, if you've been nailing the line every time into there, it's okay, but I think if you try and come from any sort of distance back, I think it's only going to go wrong, because you need to be fairly in control to even take paddock hill on your own. So
I know Thursday lining that up, so actually you got a better exit out of there to open up the opportunity for Druid. Seemed like where I got most of my places on that final race.
It's tough to get it right, though, isn't it? It's a compromise of time, because you can take it slowly so the car's nice and stable, but because of the fact that it opens, it's quite a difficult one to judge. Sometimes you go through and you think, oh, I could have gone a little bit faster, but then when you do go a little bit faster, you find the gravel. So yeah, it's tough. But well, the final race you did make about 15 places up.
25, it was.
Oh, 25, sorry. Yeah. I had a 5 on the end.
God, insults are flying, and
I didn't insult him.
No,
you can tell he's a journalist now, can't you? Alex?
Just takes these little things and blows them out of proportion.
Who needs facts, eh?
The fact checkers. 8.5 minutes to go. That is fact. Stuart McFadden leads. It's Johnny Brandon now in second, then it's Dima third. Chaz Jacob fourth as Dima nearly loses it again there. Then it's Sakovic, Evans, Foggy's in there as well. Then it's Blake and Ronald Moons and Kiba rounding out the top 10. 11, I'd say.
Yeah, we'll let you have that one. I think that's one extra. Here comes Adam Hedgecock on Kiba. Oh, not quite. Sorry, go on.
Wheel to wheel here between Adam Broughton Grant and Malcolm going down the hill. You've also got
Chris Wood.
Yeah, Chris Wood there for company.
Oh, here goes Broughton Grant in Westfield Bend up the inside. He's almost leaning on Malcolm through the corner. Wood's trying to find a space as well for the Audi R8, and your own Kaiser behind them as well. Wood's teammate, even in different cars. Looks like the CQR car's got a bit of space then, Adam Broughton Grant. CQR Club. We saw Wood not
lap of the racing, 121.6. Oh.
Who did?
Foggy.
Foggy, yeah. Played to him.
Oh, up the inside Wood then, through Paddock Hill, like we said was possible. Nailed the line, he's opened up Druids now. Lovely stuff.
And if you commit into Druids, and if you get the line right,
Kaiser following him through.
Completely clear the car behind, and yeah, Kaiser's through before Graham Hill Bend.
Team Mad Audi, Team Mad Merc, working full effect there to get past the red Team Mad Mercedes.
There you go.
Two different teams it looks like, but both under the Team Mad stable.
Team Mad 3 versus Team Mad 1, that was.
There you go. Even though those two were in different cars. Not very complicated. Dave Baker's up to 15th, but he doesn't seem like, he was saying that it doesn't feel like he's really clicked with the Ferrari for a while. It's not doing too badly in this championship. Lee Deemer's still in third, comfortably ahead of Maciek Sakovic. What's happened to Chaz Draycott? Well, he's lost 2 places on this lap. Lost out to Sakovic, lost out to McLeod Evans. Might lose out to Foggy as well if he's not careful. 125.3 on the last lap for Chaz.
Janssen just got by Kiba as well, so that's Janssen up to 12th place now, the race 2 winner.
Yeah, good meeting from Janssen. Alex, we saw him the last few weeks getting very ragged and frankly just driving a bit poorly in some of the races and making some poor moves and taking a couple of people out. And this meeting seems like he's really settled in and decided that he's gonna do it properly this time.
Well, it definitely has the ability to win this championship. I think that's the thing, and it's still up for grabs. Oh, as Draycott loses it there, I think there might have been a little bit of netcode there as well because we lost focus on Chaz for a second. But yeah, just to go back to that point, you know, he at the start of the season, he was very, very quick and definitely got the capability there. But it's just getting used to these reverse grid races and how you come through the pack and learning where you go for these moves. And you know, I think yeah, bit of a slightly different mindset, and yeah, we can see him moving back towards the top of the table. So,
in answer to your question, there are about 2 feet of netcode between Draycott and Evans on that one.
Yeah,
Foggy.
Yeah, it had to be.
It was just a blink at the wrong time, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And the service didn't really know where he was, unfortunately.
So Foggy now behind his teammate. I'm sure Craig will let him go. Or will he?
Theory.
Probably.
I think I think Nicole thought he was going to let him go. But,
didn't give him a chance, did he?
Yeah.
If there was a bit of netcode there, they would have ended up off together there. That was very close. Right, 4 minutes to go.
This is sometimes.
Stuart McFadden then.
I love it.
1.9 second advantage. Then it's Dima. Sakovic 4th. Doesn't look like he's pressuring him. Then it's now Foggy in 5th. Evans 6th. Then it's Simpson, Draycott, Blake. And then we've got a 3-car scrap here between Ronald Moons, Adam Hedgecock and Carl Janssen, who's going to get 1 position already. There he goes, past 1.
You know what? I'm so happy for Ronald Moons if he manages to get into this top 10. We know that he has his struggles sometimes out there, but seems to like this Mercedes and driving pretty well out there at the moment. But we know, Alex, that Janssen, he takes no prisoners out there when it comes to overtaking, and he's going to do it here, I feel. Maybe just setting up for paddock,
shaping something up around the outside.
I will get ready for the dummy.
Yeah, left the door open there. Moons just needs to drive it in deep here, but Janssen far later on the brakes. Good driving from him. Gets the move done.
Here comes Adam Hedgecock, trying to get 2 for 1 special. Oh, not quite. And through goes David Baker on Matt Keeber, at least momentarily. But Keeber fights back through Druids, and then Graham Hill. Ben Baker has he's trying to get this overlap. Throws it into Surtees. He's all kinds of sideways, is Baker. That was a good move. Keeber nearly loses the rear, but Adam, I think Baker, he saw Janssen. He's seeing Janssen getting further and further away, and he's desperately trying to cling on to his coattails, but coattails is all he can find at the minute.
Yeah, he's trying everything, isn't he? Just no way through. But and we haven't got long on this race left either. Just 2 minutes and 15 minutes, and Janssen, he's away. He's up to 10th place now, 18 positions gained. He's the biggest mover in the field so far, and he could maybe even get Michael Blake by the time we get to the end of this one.
Michael Blake's in 9th position. Wow, he's caught him so quickly. Alex Blake was 1.8 seconds ahead of Janssen at the start of this lap.
And Janssen had to do a move as well.
He made an overtake into turn 1.
See what the lap time.
And he's got damage, and Blake's got a fresh car.
Blake was a 1:23.8, so quite slow for him as well. So he must have made a mistake somewhere. And
he's gone wide. And Janssen's missed. Has he missed Druids? No, he hasn't. Blake's a good driver. I mean, there's a reason why he's in the top 10, but that lap was ridiculous from Janssen as well.
See, what was a ridiculous
22.2.
Yeah, what was a ridiculous lap was Nicole Foggy's a 1:21.4. So
that makes Janssen look like he's standing still.
And Sakovic up the inside of Dima as well, and closing laps, and that's allowed Foggy right on their tail now.
But that's super important for Sakovic because he's got a car between himself and Nicole Foggy now with just 59 seconds to go. Because he needs that buffer, Adam, doesn't he? He needs... We saw on... Oh, goodness me. We saw how important it was in the Bahrain Grand Prix of getting a car between yourself and the rivals. A lot of drivers in the pit stop phase moaning about getting held up, and saw what it was like for Kevin Magnussen. But now Foggy's trying to go around the outside, trying to use probably 1 second a lap advantage to his advantage.
Oh, Dima.
And Dima decides he's having none of that. And I don't blame him on the final lap, but he's gone wide anyway. He didn't make it work, Lee Dima, after the good... Oh, Sakovic! And Foggy's through onto the podium anyway. It didn't matter.
No.
And there goes Dima.
Oh.
Dima needs to get it spun round before the next pack of cars come through, because he doesn't want to drop even further down. But dear me, how unfortunate that was for them. But Stuart McFadden, well, he's only got a couple of corners to go, Adam, and it's been a great drive by the Scotsman from 7th on the grid.
Yeah, McFadden hasn't looked back since he got the lead. Dima was a dreamer of a podium, but now it's all gone horribly wrong for him, and he's definitely going to miss out on that top 3 now. But here comes McFadden into clear ways, and just like Carl Janssen in race 2, the leader here in race 3 has been dominant.
Well, he won the other day from outside the front row of the grid. And here he comes through, this time in the Kaspersky car, across the line for Stuart McFadden. And he wins round 3 here in the World GT Championship. Well played to him. And Johnny Brandon's going to get 2nd place. And it's going to be Nicole Foggy who gets 2 on the podium for Northern Lights Racing.
Janssen has got by Dima as well on the last lap.
Oh, Dima then.
Drag race.
Well, it's close, isn't it?
20 places.
Oh, it was Janssen.
By just 100th of a second.
Lee Dima started the final lap in 3rd, finishes it in 9th. Going to be disappointed. Michael Blake 10th, Adam Hedgecock 11th, Dave Baker 12th.
Oh, Mark, close here between Mark Woodhouse and Josh Rayfield. It's going to be Rayfield that holds on for 25th place. Oh,
Woodhouse with a bit more straight line speed, but Rayfield does keep it in the Simmortal car. Paul Smith has got all kinds of damage on his BMW. Look at the state of that.
Gregory off on the final lap.
Oh.
That's about holds it.
He hasn't got a lot left of his car either, Ben Gregory. 29th. And Dion Phillips coming through a lap down. It's not been the meeting for Phillips, has it? He qualified fairly well, I believe, but yeah, just not putting any of it together at all. And he finishes 1 lap down. Oh, wow. Tell you what, it's been a really closely fought meeting here, and that was the best one of the day for me.
I think I agree there. That both races, well, both of the races that I've been here for, have really been entertaining. A few big crashes in that 3rd race, which we usually come to expect in any series that we do with multiple races, and in the end, 2 fully deserving winners. I think we should have the results ready to bring you now, as everybody has crossed the line. And I'll read them out to you. Stuart McFadden then wins the final race of the day, started 7th, finished 1st. Johnny Brandon 2nd, Nicole Foggy 20th to 3rd, 17 positions gained. 4th for Maciek Sakovic, he started there. 5th for Craig Evans, 6th for Nathaniel Simpson, 7th for Chaz Draycott, started on the front row. Carl Janssen 20 positions gained en route to 8th. And it's Lee Dima in 9th, the pole sitter. Just all went wrong on that last lap. Some of it his own fault, some of it maybe not his fault. Then Michael Blake in 10th, Hedgecock 11th, 12th Dave Baker, then 13th Ronald Moons, 14th Matt Kuber, 15th Miguel Freitas, then Chris Wood, Adam Broughton Grant as the donuts are being done on the front straight, and Kaiser 18th after starting in 30th, 19th for Sindre Setsas and 20th Pete Newman, Scott Malcolm 21st, 22nd Christian Rose, 23rd Jason Rowe, then Andrew Whitehead in 24th, Josh Rayfield 25th, Mark Woodhouse 26th, 27th for Stephen Dawson, then Lee Woodburn, Ben Gregory in 29th with that badly damaged BMW, then John Roberts in 30th, Paul Smith with another wrecked Beamer in 31st, then Michael Hall in 32nd, as Stuart McFadden spins the car out of Paddock Hill Bend. Then the car's 1 lap down or more. Marco Mogren, Michael Evdoka, Dion Phillips a lap down as well, still will score points though. And then the cars that didn't finish the race, David White, Chris White, Steve Burke, Josh Thompson, 2 DNFs in a row for him. Haven't seen much of him at all tonight. And Liam Garnett, Dave Crozier, Matt Bunn. One person who's been living the nightmare tonight, that's Jake Blackhall.
Jake Blackhall, I mean, it's probably the worst one out of the lot for him. Alex, and he's had some pretty bad ones.
He has past crazy ones.
I say we don't have an absolute load of time here, but we do have time for 2 interviews. And you know what? Why not get the 2 drivers who first and second in the championship? And first of all, Christian Rose joins us in the commentary box, Ferrari driver and Racehub. And well, Christian, wasn't the finest race meeting for you personally this time, but still enough to keep the championship lead. You must be fairly happy after not having the most wonderful 3 races.
Yeah, first of all, good evening. I'm just going to say I'm very happy that there are drop weeks in this championship because it's just not gone my way this evening.
No, tell us about especially the race 3 incident, because it looked like a bit of a mess. I'm not exactly sure what happened to you, how you ended up in that.
Yeah, I've just had a quick look at it. I was on the inside of I think it was Dion, going through Surtees onto the GP loop, and he's just hooked it on the curb and just lost the rear, and unfortunately it's tapped me. And nothing he could have done. It's just unfortunate that I was in the wrong place at the wrong time, really.
And as I say, we were just on about Jake Blackhall, like 3 first lap DNFs, and it proves that it can happen to you in this series. You know, just one moment is enough to ruin a whole race meeting. And you know, luckily for yourself, you had one good finish in race 1, but yeah, after that it seemed to go a bit pear-shaped. On to Monza next week. Obviously, driving the Ferrari, that might be quite fun down there as well. For more than one reason, you've got good straight line speed. But what are your hopes for that one? Is it a circuit that you get on with?
Yeah, I like to think I go fairly well with Monza. Obviously, yeah, I think the Ferrari does have a pretty good top end, so thankfully Monza has lots of long straights, and hopefully we can make advantage of that. And yeah, hopefully it can go a bit better than this week for me anyway.
Well, we hope so too. And if you'd like to give any shout-outs, now's the time.
Yeah, of course. Once again, thanks to Mark Russell and everyone at Racehub for their continued support. Everyone at CQR. Yeah, fantastic job from Stu in race 3. Brilliant job. He's really coming on as a driver. Really pleased to be able to help him out. Yeah, and everyone else in the team who's racing.
All right, great stuff. Well, we'll see you next time.
Thank you very much.
Cheers, Christian. Christian Rose, their championship leader in the World GT Championship, and the man in second at the moment, Carl Janssen, is with Adam Bath.
Carl, hello.
Hi.
Well done on the win on race 2 and race 3 as well. 20 positions gained. Which drive do you reckon was the better, the win in race 2 or the one in race 3 where you had to gain all those positions?
I think race 3 was better because yeah, there was some trouble early on, so I had to drop back like 5-6 seconds and then had to take it all back. I think those races where you drive through the field is a little bit more fun.
Yeah, when you see a wreck going on in front of you, especially at a track like this where there isn't really much room to go if there's a big crash in front, what do you do?
Well, I guess you look for the gap. Really.
Yeah,
there's nothing really more to do than just look for a gap to go through.
Do you reckon with championships like this, you've really got to hope that the luck is on your side, that when incidents do occur, that you're able to come through on the other side?
Yeah, absolutely. With all these reverse grids, you can lose so much points just by, you know, one bad race where you get maybe tagged or yeah.
Now, obviously, race 2, very dominant showing there. Pretty quick drives to the front as well.
Yeah, it was good. Don't know what more to say. I had the pace, basically drove away, and then yeah, the luck were on my side for once. After a lot of bad races.
Yeah, quite a few bad races. Just looking at the calendar to see where we head to next. We go to Monza next. Probably going to be a bit more crazy even more crazy than what we've seen today.
Yeah, absolutely. And hopefully the Audi won't be too slow on the straights compared to the Ferraris.
With the championship being so finely poised, just 22 points between yourself and Christian Rose. Do you reckon Monza might be a track where you might be able to extend that lead a little bit further?
I hope so. I really hope so. Yeah, it was quite bad losing the lead at Spa. After that, I got a wheel disconnect, and then basically the Oculus black screen, and then basically when I came back, I was heading towards the wall.
Before we let you go tonight, do you want to send a quick shout out to anybody?
Yeah, to all our sponsors, Cranfield Simulation, JRT, After Sim Race and Six Sideways, and also Rob for helping me build setups.
Very well. Well done on the win tonight. Well done on the 20 positions gained in race 3. Biggest mover, I think, in the end. And hopefully, yeah, we see you at Monza next week.
Yep. Thank you.
Right then, well, Carl Janssen, who did pretty much what he had to do today to sort of kickstart his season again after a bit of a turbulent couple of weeks for him on the circuit. Alex, as the night comes to an end, yet again a good meeting. Yet again we see what the World GT Championship's all about, and it's always a lot of fun when we do this, isn't it?
Yep, every week. We have 3 good races. You know, we see some accidents and things like that, and people might comment about that in the chat and whatnot. But you know, that's the nature of reverse grid racing. You know, this is going to happen. You know, this is not people leading from the front and stretching away or anything like that. You know, you've got drivers out there needing to make moves. You know, sprint series. You know, you've got to make those. You've got to make those efforts. You know, this isn't endurance racing. So, yeah, that's the way it goes. So, it's what we like to see. You know, it's good. It's good fun. You know, you have to take the rough with the smooth. So, when someone picks up on that point, I like to obviously get a bit defensive and give them a bit of a slap, because you know, we want to see good, hard, aggressive racing, and that's what we saw tonight. So roll it on to next race next week.
All right, perfect. Well, thank you to Alex for that, as usual. Thank you to Adam for coming in and helping out in the last 2 races. We've got a busy week on tap here again. Tomorrow we're back with BSR MX5 Tuesdays, and then on Thursday we go for the British Sim Races Touring Car Championship again, and then AOR Formula Renault on the Friday before finishing it off BSR Grand Tour. Right then, everybody, from Andrew Woodhouse, from Alex Simpson, from Adam Bath, from the Brands Hatch circuit, it's good night from the World GT Championship.